Bro, at this point, I cannot be bothered. Like, literally, I'm not lying to you. There is not enough Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart magic in the world to let me support Nintendo at this point. It has gotten to the point where, holy crap, I don't even know how much more Nintendo can do as a company. Let's just do a quick review before we get into this article. Remember, they are increasing the price of the Nintendo Switch in Canada, and rumors from there they want to expand it to other places where feasible. They also charge you guys for welcome tour. The rumors of bricking, them being potentially sued by Brazil for said bricking, them bricking people for having the name Twink Link or other craziness. It is so insane, and then trying to backtrack it. The amount of craziness Nintendo's been doing this one console cycle life cycle alone has just been nuts. But now, the last thing that gamers had could actually help them be able to purchase these games was taken away, and that is the game vouchers. You see, the cool thing about the game vouchers was you could actually use them to, try and cut costs on your next game purchase. So even if you bought a game full price, you use the voucher on it, you're now getting at least a bit more of a discount. So you're saving somewhere. Dude, that is gone. There's no more of that. Now you're paying full price up the nose. You're paying that strong $79.99 full price. They don't care anymore. I think Nintendo is the greediest video game company I've seen in a very long time. But before we dive into this article, man, if you like my content, you like my reactions, do me a huge favor, subscribe, leave a like, and let's dive into this one. So, game vouchers were the only good thing about buying digital games on Switch, and now they're being dumped. Hang on, I gotta see what's going on here. I gotta see, because I can't keep up with this anymore. One of my favorite things about Nintendo Switch 2 is the fundamental improvements it's made to the eShop experience. Instead of running and looking like absolute rubbish, most of the storefront has been completely overhauled for the new console. Instead of avoiding it like the plague, unless I need to renew a review code, I now ensure I hop onto it each and every day to scope out new releases or deals. It's fun to browse, not to mention I'm way more tempted to pick up digital games than I ever was before. Well, good for you, man, because for most people, they really weren't tempted to pick up digital games like they wanted to back in the day because it was just getting priced out to the point where it's just getting weird. So let's see. At least that was my mindset before Nintendo started stripping out the eShop's very best features, and that is true. That is exactly what started to happen immediately. A lot of what you guys had before is starting to get removed. So let's see this. Over the years, Nintendo has done a fantastic job of offering consumers additional perks for purchasing its first-party titles for a long time. Club Nintendo points could be earned using a code found in physical versions of games, which also, by the way, Club Nintendo was so awesome for that. That was actually Nintendo when they were going in the right direction. But I digress. That is gone. But yeah, which could then be renewed to purchase official merchandise ranging from notebooks to plushies to soundtrack CDs. It was a wonderful service that rewarded dedicated players with goods you couldn't find anywhere else. But we saw this being phased out before the original Switch was released in 2017 with no true replacement. It was gone. It was gone. The second Nintendo said, I don't want to give people free stuff anymore for purchasing stuff. I don't want to give Nintendo consumers perks for purchasing our products. They should just always be able to, pay up cost front and be happy that they did it. And that was it. When Nintendo Switch launched with a new incredibly mediocre form of eShop, which was actually really garbage, I'm not going to lie, majority of it's just slop, it did so good with gold points. For every penny spent on the digital purchases, you would earn 1 point, which could then be used on future purchases to save money. If you were picking up games on the regular for $10 or $20 a piece, it wasn't only a matter of time until you had a healthy amount of points that could slice the price of a more premium product. It was a very generous system, and one Nintendo has seen fit to put a stop to. They even stopped that? Oh my god, I didn't even know they stopped that because they are stopping the gold points. Funnily enough, I used to use the gold points to when I want to buy games like Bastion and Hollow Knight. It came in clutch. It would just cut the cost, especially of some indie games, to like nothing. And that was fantastic. Mind you though, that was in the earlier days of the Switch around 2017, 2018. But Nintendo ultimately stopped that as well because, Greedtendo is doing its thing. You were encouraged with a small monetary bonus to play and enjoy a game on Switch even if the visuals or performance were slightly inferior as a result, but now that appeal is gone. It is still possible to earn gold points from the physical edition of games released before March 23rd of this year, although they also expire sooner rather than later. So you have an incentive to use them rather than stockpile a seemingly unlimited amount. I'd be a fool to claim it was a perfect system, but as far as this games go in the modern landscape, it was excellent. Yeah, I agree. It was perfect, especially nowadays. That would have been fantastic. for so many people because everybody needed that. But even that's gone. Now game vouchers are following their tragic footsteps. Nintendo Switch game vouchers. Okay, if you're still broken up about the gold point of elimination of gold points, I got some bad news for you. Game vouchers are going to be nixed in a matter of months as well. Game vouchers are perks of the Nintendo Switch Online that allow you to purchase 2 vouchers for, let's say, okay, this is Euro numbers here, or for £84 or $99, which, and I'm not going to lie, that's still a lot of money, $99, which can then be redeemed for a number of first-party Nintendo Switch titles. When using vouchers, you save a decent amount of money compared to if you were picking up both titles solo, physically or digitally. It's a good deal, and one I've taken advantage of several times over the years. So you're getting a good deal, but even Nintendo's getting rid of that. Even that's getting scrapped now. There is nothing safe with this company. As of January 30th, 2026, however, the feature will no longer be available for the Nintendo Switch Online members. Existing vouchers will still work, and you'll have a full year until they expire. Holy crap, only a full year? Okay. It should be unlimited. If you purchased it in the past, you should have the rights to hold on to it for as long as you want. It's a negative no matter how you spin it, and no valid excuses given within the blog post. Apart from, oh, wow, people are still getting one hell of a deal here. We can't have that. And people are reacting just as expected. It sucks. Gamers are going to be worse off because this feature removal, and the only reason for it is the potential to make more profits by charging full price for the digital titles. I'm telling you, Nintendo's greed is going to be their downfall. I've never seen this before. It is so weird. I've never seen a game company try to weaponize nostalgia, weaponize their fandom like Nintendo has. I've never seen it. It's borderline bizarre, but at the same time could also be a masterclass of what not to do in marketing. I don't know. It's crazy. Nintendo is slowly but surely transitioning into a more traditional platform holder where extra features like gold points, game vouchers, and Club Nintendo are being phased out because it comes to realize there are additional revenue streams to be taken advantage of instead of us making you feel appreciated. The removal of game vouchers is simply the latest example of that vision. It is only going to get worse. I'm not lying to you guys. This is going to be getting far more worse than it gets far more better. And this is just the iceberg on it. Wait till Nintendo does one more cease and desist, one more copyright, one more patent. Wait till they remove something else. Wait till they jack up the price on something else. And you know what's so funny? People are going to pay for it. People are really going to pay for it because diehard Nintendians do not want to give up that childhood nostalgia that used to make them feel good. That feel-good experience that Nintendo's known for. They don't want to lose that. So that is definitely going to be more of the same coming down the pipe. It makes me sad. I don't like where Nintendo's heading, but I ultimately don't think they're going to change. But you let me know. Do you agree with what Nintendo's doing? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's not fair? Do you think it's messed up? I'm curious to know what your thoughts on it, because you already know mine. I'm against it. But let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Do me a huge favor, guys. Subscribe and leave a like if you like my reactions, you like my gaming commentary and all that fun jazz. And of course, I will talk to you guys in the next one. All right, I'm gone. See ya.